Well, it's been a while, but I'm finally here to finish this treehouse that I started almost a year ago. Now, if you missed the previous video, I got the base pretty much all the way built, and I really haven't touched it since then. So maybe the first step is just to go back up there and take a look at it, see what's happened over the last year, and maybe then we can just start moving some tools up here to get going on it. All right, I got the ladder set up. The tree still looks like it's alive and healthy, so that's good. Actually, maybe we should check this out first. No pitch out of there, or here. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it didn't even really cause any stress there. What about the tab bolts? Put you up there. Yeah, it looks really good, actually. Surprised. I mean, these have been in here for a year now. I see a little bit of, I got the camera way up there, but I see a little bit of, maybe from here I see some sap coming around on those, what you would expect. But yeah, for the most part, this actually looks pretty good. I haven't really even looked at, I mean, I haven't even been near this thing for a year. I mean, just to be honest, I'm trying not to think about it. I'm remembering now the biggest concern here for me is that this tree is super angled out. It's going to be really not fun to do a roof for it. The wall should be fine, but you can't really see it with the sun. All right, let's go up. Hopefully this thing survived. Ooh, she's dirty. Decking still looks pretty good though. It's all smooth. So I did treat this wood. I think it's just sun bleached. It hasn't cracked or popped or anything. It's really dirty. Got a lot of pitch. This just still pitch, or what is this? Okay. So I think we're gonna do, my idea here is to do like a 6-foot wall and then angle it up. So we need to take out some of these branches. Not much of a view up here anymore. These trees are getting too big. Sensitive. We should go a little bit slower. Easy. A little bumpy over here. Does this thing still work? Nice. Okay, well, I'm really not much of a carpenter here, but this is all pretty basic stuff. There's eight equal angles, right? So 360 divided by 8 is 45 degrees, which yeah, that looks like 45 degrees. So I'm going to use I'm using pressure treated just on the bottom, just because water is going to get on here. I mean, none of this matters because my kids are going to outgrow this way before it rots, but whatever, we'll just, you know. All right, I went to the local Habitat for Humanity and got these old junk windows for a few dollars. Probably covered in lead. That's fine. But now these are obviously meant to slide up and down, but that's okay. We'll just kind of modify them slightly. So that one, I'm not crazy about these big panes though. Some kid's gonna go flying through here. Although, what's this really gonna do? Okay, so this is, so we'll go off that one, 30 by 34. And so we want to have a casing around it, right? So we want a ½ inch, an inch around for casing. Plus some fudge, a ½ inch. I think we want to do the longer dimension up and down. So 31.5 wide by 35.5 tall. Okay, let's look at these. Already out of room up here. Would have been smart to do this on the ground, I think, and then move these up later. But it's nice to be able to measure up here, so I don't know. Hopefully this thing still works. Mostly. Also, I need some safety glasses. I forget this thing shoots stuff off when you use it. All right, so we're kind of limited here because we need 35, almost 36 inches for these big windows, which is going to be down to here, which is, what is that? That's 34 inches off the ground. That's pretty good, actually. It doesn't have to be up to code, does it? Okay, it's getting really crowded up here. I have 3 walls made, just this pretty much the same wall 3 times in a row because they're all gonna have the same windows. I think there's no more room to work up here. This is really a terrible idea to try to do this all up here. I should have done this down below. But anyway, too late for that. So, by the way, you see this big pile of unused or waste wood? That's a sure sign that I'm a complete amateur right there. Yeah. Here. Here. Okay, how? Yeah, that's pretty sturdy. Okay. Did I do this wrong? Of course, once I get these up, how am I going to get up here with a ladder? It's a better question. That's actually really not bad. This is actually really good. Probably better than my actual house. So these hinges weren't even close to strong enough. Get these new ones. Oh, we're gonna have a problem here. So
drill bit is bent. Yeah, I can use this one to countersink it. Oops. All my drill bits are kind of messed up right now. That's all we need. There, maybe. Really? How's that? Ooh, too long at screws. Okay, I'll have to get some shorter ones. But that'll work for now. Look at this. All these pine needles. Open this. Can I do this? No, actually. There we go. Easy. Oh gosh. Yes, it fits. Can I fit up here? Oh yeah, tons of space. Okay, got the rest of the walls built, ready to mount. Yeah, I really regret making these up here, but once you get the saw up here, it's too late to go back. There goes my level. That might be far enough. Once these walls are up, there's way less danger of me falling off. So at least there's that to look forward to. Ugh. Let's go like this. Yeah. Let's try that. Just close that here. This saw is really cramping my style. By the way, it's about 105 out here right now. That's why I'm wearing shorts. Okay, I got way more room for activities in here now. Just a couple things. Number one, I'm missing some framing here on this window, so I'll get to that in a second. Also, if you see this gap right here, I mean, I was really careful about leaving all these main the same height. So this right here is due to there must be a low spot kind of in this area, and also you can see it's lower there too. So there's, you know, in these corners, it's not perfect. Looks like about 1/8 of an inch. We'll throw some shims in for that. But besides that, we're doing pretty good for level on these walls without really doing much. I mean, these all the ones I've checked. Gotta make sure not to fall in here. What's this? Yeah, I mean, for not really knowing what I'm doing here, I guess that's okay. I'll be happy with that. It's gonna, you know, twist in here. We are in a tree after all, so, you know, it's not gonna be perfect, but I think that's good enough. Now it's getting a little late here, but the top plate's done all the way around. I do also want to screw this in. I mean, this is up in a tree. It's a, you know, high wind area. So I got some, what are these, structural screws. I'm guessing this is probably like the equivalent of a 3/8 lag bolt. So we're gonna put these in the bottom. Now, one thing to remember here, and I'm sorry for the camera shadow. There is a light. There is it's like a 2x10 underneath here. Let me show you. This guy right here. So it's only an 1.5 inches wide, right? So I want to make sure to put the bolts like in this half of this 2x4. So right here. I wonder if you have to pre-drill these. Usually you don't on these fancy ones, but these were the cheap ones. Okay. Okay, well, the walls are done. It's time to think about the roof, which I haven't really done till now, but I see a couple problems. Number one, I've never framed a roof before. That's probably the biggest problem. But two, the distance from here to there is different from there to there. It's off by like, I think 12 inches. It's kind of maybe hard to see on camera, but this thing curves way out and it kind of curves again up there. And I mean, I guess no tree's really straight, so what are you gonna do? Anyway, I think what I'm gonna do is just build a frame around the base here and then lift it up to the height I want. And then the rafters will just hook to that. So the frame should probably be pretty strong. I got some 2x6 pressure treated, and then I'll do 2x4 rafters. That should be fine. I'm not gonna be walking on top of this thing. And then as far as the slope, I mean, the slope's gonna be different, right? Because it's gonna be different on depending on how far away it is from the center section. See if we can do this without doing any math. I guess let's just kind of, I'll pick a general slope and then go with that for this side. How does that look? Oh boy. That's actually not bad, but the problem, I see a problem already. So there's no window here, but the window tops are basically right there, right? So if you open a window, I'm guessing the windows are gonna open like that, but maybe, yeah, they probably wanna open sideways. You're gonna end up hitting this. This one's not a problem, but these three are gonna be the worst, I think. Okay, I got some paper out here. So this here is our tree. This is the octagon around it. The tree's, what did I say, 18? 4 inches on each space, so that's a distance here of 26 inches. You got 45 degrees. You're gonna be cutting them at 22.5 for your saw. And then to find out the length, assuming these are all the same length, if you break it into pieces here, this is kind of what I did. So this is this section right here, and then this is the top section. So you got that length plus that length plus that length equals your 26. So 3L equals 26. So then your length is 8 2/3, which I'll change that to 8.5. Should be about 4 inches out, right? Okay, I screwed up. So there's only 21 inches of space in between these, and I need a 24. And I think the problem I made here is this, I'm assuming like a really thin line for my 3L measurement, but really this distance here is including like the thickness of the boards. So I think what I need to do is just make it 29 inches. Okay, so this thing's more bracket and fastener at this point, but I really want it to be rigid before I attach all the rafters to it. So let's give it a little test. I mean, there's 8 fasteners per bracket, and there's 16 brackets, so that's a big number. I can't do that right now. It feels pretty rigid. Let's put a little weight on it and see if it can be okay. Oh yeah, no flexing. I weigh about 350 pounds, so that's about right. The good news is she can't get to me when I'm up in the tree, so she just has to wait down below. The bad news is I end up throwing stuff off and almost hitting her. Let's see. Is this gonna fit back together? Okay, so I think where that nail is, that's the lower spot of where we want that frame thing to go. Yeah. Okay, actually, hold on a second. I need to think about something for a sec. So the orientation of this thing versus the walls, I have it like this right now, where the corner is pointed toward the flat point of the wall. I think that might be better to do, because that way I could run a joist right off of the flat spot here. If I do it like this, then you have a couple problems. You're coming off of here. Well, first of all, hanging right here where these brackets are, that's not going to work. So you'd have to hang it here. Maybe if I went right from here right to the corner, that might be the best thing to do, actually. It's gonna take me all night just to get this thing up here and spaced right. Okay. I guess I can move this later. That's not going. These aren't long enough, are they? No. Okay. Oh boy. This is, I'm gonna have to get some longer screws. Oh, that's right in my eye. Okay, well, I should probably mention this because I'm sure someone's gonna ask. Where I live here in the Northwest, it's pretty mild, and a really big snow event is actually quite rare. It usually just snows a couple inches, if even that, every year. So we're not worried about a huge amount of snow load or weight on this roof. Really, it's just to keep the water off you, and maybe, you know, the few errant dead branches falling off. This is 110, which would be 20. So I can't cut it in this direction because it's going to make it wider. Then it won't fit in these brackets. So what I can do though is bend the brackets, which we will be doing here. Okay, now you're gonna measure the angle. It's gonna be that. We're at 65 degrees. So that's a 25-degree cut on the joist. That's a good angle. There. Get that started. I'm kind of bending these ties to fit around the octagon here, but using that planer kind of helps. Okay guys, well, moment of truth, I guess, to see what happens when I take all this bracing off, if this thing just warps or what. This is a little bit worrisome. I mean, there's not a whole lot holding this together. So let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's do the other one. It's about the same amount of wobbliness. I should probably start thinking how I'm going to roof this thing. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. Ooh. Yeah, so that's moving all the walls and everything. So as long as this isn't moving by itself, I'm happy. And by the way, I wanted to show this to you before it gets dark here. So if you see the bracket for this rafter is all the way to the right, and this one's like slightly to the right. And then when you get around more, that one's like in the center almost. That one's left offset. And then this one's like almost all the way to the left. So that's kind of what I was talking about, dealing with this tree spacing. It was very difficult, and that's kind of the solution I ended up with. So I mean, there's probably a better way to do it, but I think this will work okay. That's not too bad, I guess. These joists these rafters kind of settled a little bit. Oh, well, yeah, I guess we can call that okay. Try not to router myself. Okay, so I think the roof is going to be the most complicated part of this, because the two rafters coming off on any given side, they're canted away from each other at weird angles. So there's not like really a way to put a sheet over it or a sheathing or anything like that without building up on top of it. So I think what I'm going to do is place some boards kind of going back all the way up each group of rafters. And I have some 1x4s here. These are cedar. They're kiln dried, so they shouldn't really change much once they're mounted. Okay, so this is the shortest one. These aren't going to sit perfectly flush, but that's okay. Ooh boy. I do see a way to make this better, but it involves a lot of labor.
That would be my Nathan, help! Dad, help him! I'm okay. Dad, they need help. No, I don't. Helpful. There we go.
Okay guys, here's the trouble I was having. So these are the runners that are gonna go over the top that the metal roof's gonna mount to. The issue is it's just not mounting totally flush with these rafters. And it also needs to be elevated a little bit because you can see when you get up to here, because of this point, it's gonna hit that. So this is what I came up with. I already did one leg here, and basically these are just 2x4s, and I've cut them in the miter saw at an angle so that it lines up flush, and then that way when I come over and do this side, it's gonna be like that. I'll get better coverage of the roof, and then it won't be, everything's a lot more secure and strong because it's flush mounted. These are just screwed in. And then, yeah, look at this. So this, I mean, these are all, this is pretty nice. Everything's nice and straight. So this metal roof should go on here pretty good. Okay, I got 9 degrees. I kind of want the top of this to be this height. Good. Looks like I measured that right. This is just so I don't crack anything. Okay, so I just got to do this about 50 more times. We'll be good. Well, I'm on the last little web here, right there. So it's looking pretty good so far. I figured I'd just film right now just to show you what 99% of this project has been like, just working in the complete darkness. with a headlamp on. So with that considered, I haven't done that bad. I did get a little panel of roof cut and put on, and it's actually on there pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that's turning out, and I'll kind of show you the method for how I'm doing that. You know, there's a few inches to the tree. It is paying off though, because this panel did go on really easily, and it was really easy to measure and cut, so I'm happy about that. Okay, well, I had to take a couple days off work here because I'm starting to panic a little bit. September's almost over, weather's about to change, and I'm a long ways away from being done here. Anyway, I think I'm pretty much done with the inside for now. Like, these posts actually helped a lot in just straightening everything out, and they're all the way around. But anyway, back to the roof. So here's the panel up here. It's made out of two pieces, the seams right here. And I know you're supposed to tape the seams. I didn't do that. I mean, this is a tree house. I don't really care that much. I don't think it's gonna leak. Should be fine. Hopefully the wind noise isn't that bad. So, just doing a little overlap. I mean, there's about 2 inches of fudge in here, but I'm cutting them a little bit wider too. So. I'm just gonna really go anywhere. Screw that in anything? Okay. And this piece here I'm leaving flush with the face of this, and that kind of gives me a reference point for how much longer to cut the roof so it overhangs a little bit. Is that overhang too much? I don't know. I've never done a metal roof before. I know you probably typically have, like, you know, a piece here and all that kind of stuff with the gutter, which we're not going to do, but I kind of like that overhang. It's pretty stiff on there. Okay, just gonna carefully lower this down here. Oh, ducks are down there. All right. Just nice and gentle, like. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so this is where I cut the first panel. You can see this is actually 2 roof panels put together because they're only 3 and some feet wide. At their widest point, the roof is like over about 4 feet. So anyway, the idea here is to get 2 roof cutouts out of each 2 sheets of roofing. So hopefully, let me flip these around and see if it's big enough for this one. Oh yeah. And I'm just using this as my spacer for the how far to cut it. So. Gotta be a little careful, this stuff gets pretty sharp. Pretty straight cut. Not too bad for freehanding it. Come on now. probably should have grabbed another magnet to hold us in place. It's okay though, we can make this work. This is supposed to go all the way up here. Wow. So this first panel, I did this at night. It was pitch black. It was actually a lot harder than this was. And I learned a few of the tricks. Yeah, this is the magnet I was using just to keep it from sliding past that. Looks like that's done right. Got the same overhang there. Okay. I'll get this one bolted all the way in, and then we'll do the ridge cap, which is not going to be fun because I got to lean over the whole thing. I tell where the center is. Huh? Is there like a screw right there? No, I did. No, I didn't. Close though. Yeah, it's going into that rib. Well, I am not proud with how that turned out, especially this one. But it's on here pretty good. It's not going to come off. And I think I kind of know the trick now, so the rest of them will be a little bit better looking than this. But the good news is no one's ever going to see this except for me and the 30 people that watch this video. Okay, well, I can't get any more of the roofing from inside, so time for some sketchy stuff here. It looks good. Yeah. Okay, so I just have, oh boy, this is a little bit sketchy. Just have the rest. I was able to get this panel placed from the inside, and then I got these two screws on to hold it, but I gotta screw this the rest of the way on. I don't know if I can reach that piece up there. Oh boy, let's see. Get over a little bit. Oh. There we go. Weird. Yep. There we go. Okay, well, I mean, I can't reach any more from up here, so at this point it is what it is. There's not a lot holding it on over there or here. These other ones are fine, but this is the non-windward side. So this not gonna get a lot of wind lifting it up. If it does though, I'm gonna have to figure something out because I mean, this is kind of a weak spot. I think I'm gonna get my tin snips and clean this up right here. Every corner is like this. I can do this from inside though, thankfully. No more ladder stuff for now. So now that I thought about this some more, I think another way I could have gotten up there is if I had like an extension fork for the ladder so it sits further out, and then I could climb up on top of the roof, which is a little bit dangerous, but I could wrap like a rope or something around the tree to keep me from sliding off. So if that's probably what I'll have to end up doing if this doesn't hold, like if it bends or something, like the wind catches it really badly. I just don't know. I think it's gonna be okay. The wind all comes from on the other side of this barn, so it's pretty sheltered, but we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, if this was an actual house, I'd care more, but this is just a tree house, right? All right, more shade in here. So there's a good, I don't know, 2 inches around here, which it's not even, obviously. Everything else is shaded. Creaky in here. Okay, roof's done for now. All right, so we're in here in the goose and duck area. Anyway, I built this about 10 years ago. Can you guys stop? I built this thing about 10 years ago, and it's held up really well. So I just want to show what I did. So this thing was, the siding on this is just, it's board and batten style. And what I did here is I used actual fence pickets. These are 5.5 inch or 6 inch by 5/8 fence pickets. And then I cut them in half to do the batten here. And I treated them beforehand, and it's held up really well. I mean, this thing is not rotted at all. I've been very happy with how this turned out. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's actually extremely cheap to do this. It's cheaper than T111. This is like $1.30 a square foot in today's numbers, which is right around the same. It's a little bit cheaper than T111 if you don't take into account the sheathing that you need for this versus no sheathing on T111. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Like I said, it's held up really well. I bought these fence boards about a week ago. They've been sitting out in the sun this whole time, hopefully drying out. So I'm going to quickly hose them down with some sealer here. Okay, so for siding, I've had this roll of house wrap forever. I don't really ever have a use for it, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on here, might as well, just to help protect the sheathing, especially with board and batten, which is really thin cedar boards that are going to split. Some house wrap would probably be a good idea. Before I do that though, I need to go ahead and nail in the sheathing. It's screwed in, but I'm going to nail it in just for additional strength from twisting and bending, which is this thing's going to do, obviously. Are those coming through the plywood over here? Huh? Are these coming through right here, the wood?
Yeah.
Can you hold this?
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of heavy, so hold it. Like you might want to put more of your arm into it. There you go. Thank you. Okay.
I always feel like I'm about to drop it, but then I think, if I drop it, then it'll ruin the treehouse, then it'll take long.
That's the spirit. Perfect, thank you.
That's
Okay, the wrap's pretty much on. After I was filming before and I redid the second layer, I moved it down because it became apparent that I was gonna have to do a third layer. So I overlapped them evenly. It looks a lot better cover now. I still need to go up though and kind of, like up in the eaves there, I need to kind of clean that up and add some more staples. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of special fastener you're supposed to use that's waterproof when you hit it in. I'm just using staples from my staple gun. And then any place that's not covered, I just put the Tyvek tape over the staple to kind of seal it. And let me show you the mistake I made. It's about 10 degrees hotter up here with this wrap up. After I got that second layer on in the previous clip, I remembered that I'm gonna be nailing siding in using 2-inch nails. And this plywood sheathing is only 3/8 and the boards are only half, or 5/8 I think. So I had to go around this entire structure here and add, this is a 2x6, and I had to add framing across, and I'm just gonna have to be careful where I nail in the siding. It's like there, and then the bottom, and then there, and then on this top rail too. I sheathed that all the way, and then I added a 2x4 header around, and this is all just for the siding. Not super pretty, but it'll at least keep nails from coming in here, and you don't want nails sticking through the walls on this. Probably not good. So anyway, that's all done. That was a lot of just busy work. These are just my nail lines where I have backing behind it. Okay, I'm using 2-inch stainless steel ring shank. I think that's pretty standard for cedar. If you use galvanized on cedar, I believe it leaves a black stain down from the fastener after a while. So these won't do that, hopefully. Okay, first couple mistakes already made. Number one, the gun needs to be adjusted. It's shooting them in too far. Two, you can't shoot them in the corner like this or it cracks. I knew better, but it's been a while. I'm gonna do 3/4 spacing between boards. So I'll just use this 1x4 as my spacer. Like here. Dang it. Oh, it's not good for the gun. Dang it. Still getting this ironed out. Probably shouldn't have started with the side I'm going to see when I drive by it every day. Oh, my pen. I don't know if it's best to start with a full board because then you're ending up with this on this side, which I already started a full board on this side, unfortunately, but it just makes this last board kind of a pain because it's so narrow to cut. And then for my corner joint, I'm just doing this. Like this board on the side is sticking out further, and it's just going to be a joint like that, which that's fine. I think typically what you would do if you were actually building a house that you wanted to look nice is you would shave this corner down a little bit. Anyway, I'll see how far I get tonight, and we'll check in tomorrow morning. No, too far. Oh no, I got it.
The big branch will leave, at least I'm gonna smash you.
These are pre-drilled. This is going to get covered up by window trim anyway, so.
Okay, I got this side done. This is, I think, the third side I've gotten done. So that's going to get all covered up there, not a big deal. And this is probably the worst joint I've done as far as not being straight. That's okay, it'll get covered up, I think. And so we got that side done. And then this side, so this side's completely done. This is kind of what I was testing out what to do, which I did make a bunch of mistakes on this side, which once again, I drive by here every day on my way to work. So really genius level stuff here, having all the mistakes on this side. Anyway, the procedure here is I'm basically doing the boards, then I do the window trim, then I do the battens around it. If you look at that top trim piece over the top of the window, that side's screwed up. I'll fix that, but it's already bugging me. We can go inside and look at it. So this is just cedar, and I'm using the smooth side, so there's less splinters. And it came out okay. I mean, I don't like a lot of stuff. Like, I don't like how it's inset from the framing, and it's level at least. We should actually check before we say that. Yeah, it's fairly level. And then here, we can come out here and look at the trim. This is just your standard exterior trim style here. And like I said, I like the overhang there on that side, but then this side, I put the batten on first before I had this piece. This is a 5/4 by 4, just so there's a little overlap over that. So I'll fix that. It's already bugging me. We'll see how this holds up. These really thin fence boards, you know, they tend to cup and crack and such. That house in the duck area has held up pretty good, so we'll see. I think the trick might be to let it dry out and then you seal it, but we'll see. Oh. This is the hardest part, is these corners, because you can't really go off with straight and level. You kind of just have to eyeball it. All right, well, that looks mostly straight. A little screw up right around there with the nails. I missed the stud on the inside, and that back wall was a little bit tricky. 3/4.
First try, they all fit. They should fit. That's a good sign. The old safety glasses, huh? I didn't really use a finish blade for this stuff, but it's a treehouse. Oh, easy. All right, it's in here pretty tight. I kind of did that on purpose. I don't have to deal with a lot of shimming. I mean, I'd probably just find how it is. And then see, we got it right up against this siding. And then, the batten will just go up to here. Well, actually, after the outside trim still. But yeah, this is going actually pretty quicker than I thought. And we'll just let's get it. I feel. Sure, why not? By the way, this is all cedar. It's untreated though. I'm gonna have to seal it here. All right, only about 15 more of these. Now this part's going a lot faster, which is good. I really need to finish this today because it's going to start raining tomorrow. All right, work area is cleaned up. And I think we're done. Let's take a look. And I apologize, it's a lot of filming from down below. Sorry about that, but there's only so much I could do. Check over here. The last side. Can't even see that one. A couple more things to do inside. Okay, there's a bunch of nails kind of randomly all over that I missed, so I'm gonna cut these off. The next issue I've been noticing is a lot of these cuts are still dripping sap. You can see it all over there. And I know that's a big offender down there. And you can see like that is actively dripping. So I got the flappy paddle sander on the grinder here. I'm gonna grind all these out and then seal them Let's see how this works actually. It's actually not too bad. Okay, I got this stuff. I had good reviews on Amazon. I'll give it a shot here. Whew. So ensure it's clean and dry. And then just use the brush to apply. And apply a second coat after 2 hours. I guess that's what I'll be doing tonight. And let it cure for 24 hours without water exposure. Well, it's gonna rain tonight, but hopefully we won't get any water in here. Okay, this stuff is like the consistency of peanut butter. But a nice, it said thin coat, so we'll just do that. This one is already dripping after I cleaned it. That one's okay. Start cleaning up here a little bit. A lot of that sawdust was Doug fir, and I can still see there where it's in the cracks there. I think it's going to promote rot if it's just in there and it gets wet and it starts rotting, so I'll have to clean all those out. Most of it I got out. Anyway, my kids really wanted a rope ladder for this thing, so I'm not sure the best place to mount it. Let's do this line. Good sign. So it needs to go flush, so get more threads into the beam because this cedar deck board ain't gonna hold very much. All right, well, I got bigger added links. I think I'm going to remove this ring. I did stand on this thing. It will hold my weight, but I really don't feel comfortable. I'll see how they do. I'm actually thinking it might be better to put a strap around the tree and have the rope up about this height, because that way you can get a rung, you get your hand on a rung like here. This is pretty tough, so I'll see how they do. Okay, well, I watched one of my kids try to climb that rope ladder, and after I got done laughing, I built this ladder really quickly because that rope ladder was not going to happen. So really just, really simple, just pavers on the ground there. And then I just pre-drilled and screwed and nailed it together so it wouldn't crack. 2x4 steps going up. Hatch is closed right now. So this will be a lot safer. It's pretty secure on here. And I mean, it easily holds my weight, so it should be fine. Anyway, let me throw the wide angle lens on here on the gimbal and we can take a quick last tour. A little tricky one-handed. There we go. All right, so that's all pretty clean in here. And you can, oh, this ladder. So I attached this ladder to the treehouse with some frames there. I don't know how well that's gonna work because when it gets windy, this treehouse really does twist and move a little lot. So it might eventually just kind of rip those off. We'll see, but you can. Close that up. And I still have to seal these. They're still a little bit wet actually, so I'm letting these dry out. I'll try to get to it before winter comes. But it's been raining. It probably rained 2 inches over the last week in I came up here during the worst of it and there was no drips. Everything was nice and dry up here. Even the windowsills were all dry. So far so good on the roof. There we go, that might help with the camera. So you can see there, it's still dripping. Pretty much all of these. It hasn't dripped as bad as it had, like it hasn't leaked on the deck. But all these recent ones that I cut, I think last year, are dripping. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait till this tree is completely dormant in the winter and then reseal it, try it then. I think that's probably the issue, is you're not really supposed to be cutting branches off and trying to do this stuff when the tree's still actively, you know, awake and growing and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that'll fix it. Besides that, that's pretty much it for this thing. Kind of losing the view out the window. Some of these, not much. In another year or so, these Doug fir trees are going to be blocking everything pretty much. But whatever, not my problem. All right, guys, well, this project's been hanging over my head for a long time. It feels really good to get it out of the way. Mostly done. There is a few items left to do, and we got a list here. Hold on a second. Number one, I'm gonna have to put more screws in the roof. I'm pretty sure about that. I have a couple ideas on how to do that, but I'll get to that later. Still gotta put the windows in and seal the window frames. That'll probably be a pretty short job. I could probably do that in the springtime. We'll see. We might not even want them. I don't know what the kids want to do yet. It's kind of up to them. And finally, I might end up putting a safety net up, which let me show you really quickly. So the worry here is, you know, irresponsible children gonna leave this door open and someone's gonna eventually be walking around up here and fall through. So I'm thinking of hanging a net like second half over right here. So if they do fall, they just hit that, then they smash their faces against here instead of on the ground. And I did get I already got a safety net for it, but I'll wait and see how they use it. If they're being kind of somewhat responsible, then I'm not gonna bother with it, because it's just gonna be a pain to get by that every time you climb up. But besides that, I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. Despite my lack of experience, you know, it probably took me a lot longer than it should have, and there was a lot of brute force stuff where there's probably smarter and better ways to do stuff. But in the end, it ended up okay. I mean, it did take me like a month and a half to do this. Working primarily at night, you know, with a headlamp on is a little bit difficult, but we got through it. And really, I'm just happy to be done with it. There wasn't even really any injuries or any close calls even. I mean, I cut my hands a couple of times, but that's just normal stuff. Didn't fall off any ladders, which I was kind of worried about because the ground's pretty uneven here, but nothing really ever happened, so that's good. I think the number one complaint I had through this entire process was when I had built the base in the last video, I kind of had just blindly followed the plans that the Treehouse Supply, whatever company it was that I bought all the hardware from. They sent plans and I just kind of blindly followed that. And I didn't even realize it, I guess my lack of experience, but the outer dimension on each of these 8 walls was 49.5 inches, which is a horrible dimension because everything you buy is in 48 inches, right? So besides that, just by itself, an 8-sided structure is kind of a huge pain to work with. I probably would have gone with the 6-sided structure if I was gonna do it again. Besides that though, I really can't complain too much. I mean, it wasn't that painful to do this, it was just time consuming. But I'm curious to see how it will do over time. So maybe we'll do another update in a year or two. I can show you any other changes I've made. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it does. I think it's gonna do okay. It needs to last, like I said, 10 to 15 years. Based on my previous minimal experience doing stuff, I think it'll be okay. But we'll find out. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. We're gonna be back to our normal channel programming for the next video. I've already started working on the excavator, so there's gonna be a video probably in 2 weeks for that. So no more amateur carpentry on the channel for hopefully a long time. We're gonna get back to the amateur mechanical stuff, and I will see you on the next video.